What are the potential weaknesses of an outpost on e4? When we think about establishing an outpost on e4, it's important to consider not just the advantages but also the potential weaknesses that can arise. So, what are the risks associated with this strategic position? First, while an outpost on e4 can be a stronghold for a piece, it is still vulnerable to attacks from enemy pieces. Even though pawns cannot directly challenge it, bishops, knights, or queens can target the piece stationed there. If the opponent coordinates their pieces well, they can force your piece off the outpost or diminish its influence. Another factor to consider is the lack of pawn support. By definition, an outpost is a square that cannot be defended by pawns. This means that the piece on e4 relies on other pieces for protection. If those supporting pieces are poorly positioned or exchanged, the outpost becomes more susceptible to enemy attacks. Additionally, placing a piece on e4 can lead to overextension. When a piece is deep in enemy territory, it may become isolated. If it gets trapped or cut off from reinforcements, it can become a target for tactical strikes or exchanges that favor the opponent. The opponent may also exploit the outpost through flank attacks. Since e4 is centrally located, they can undermine it by attacking on the sides or preparing pawn breaks that indirectly challenge the outpost. Moves like pawn to f5 or pawn to d5 can disrupt control of e4 or create lines to attack the piece there. Moreover, occupying e4 can block your own pawn structure or pieces. If a pawn or piece is on e4, it might interfere with the movement of other friendly pieces or block pawn advancement. This can reduce flexibility in your position, making it harder to respond to threats. Lastly, the effectiveness of an outpost on e4 heavily depends on controlling the surrounding squares, such as d3, d5, f3, and f5. If the opponent manages to contest these squares, the outpost's strength diminishes significantly. In practical terms, knights are often the best pieces to occupy e4 since they can control many key squares and are difficult to dislodge without pawn support. When establishing an outpost on e4, it is vital to coordinate other pieces to protect and support the knight or piece stationed there. Players should be cautious about committing to an outpost on e4 too early without ensuring the position is stable. Avoid placing pawns on the outpost square itself, as this can block your own pieces and negate the strategic advantage of the outpost. In summary, while an outpost on e4 can be a powerful tool for controlling the center, it comes with vulnerabilities. Being aware of these weaknesses can help you use the outpost effectively and mitigate potential risks.